nah, it's never going to happen. It's the same way too. Those who are in Ogun, who are in Lagos, think we are safe until you're not. And the question is, what exactly do they want? What is the government doing? When the governor says whatever demands they have, we are ready to listen. And I do understand it from a human perspective. I understand that at this point, you are throwing the kitchen sink at this and going whatever you want, just let these people be safe. Conversation around insecurity. When you have a Senate president say to you, everything you're experiencing right now is all because of politics, a part of you, a human part of you is angry. You're asking, so what? Can't you all fix your politics without involving human lives? But the flip side is, so what happens to us? How long should we wait? And I need to also ask this very important question here is, when these people kidnap, how are they able to move so freely? How are they able to go to 3 different schools, kidnap these students, move out? Is it that we don't have police officers there? Is it that there are no security presence in these communities? If security presence are there, how can they move through the bushes or move through wherever pass they move through and go to their hiding spots? How is it difficult and almost impossible for Nigeria in the last few years to actually apprehend, arrest kidnappers? Why does it seem like we are trying to send man to Mars? Again, I'm not saying it's easy, but if we cannot say if for 3-4 years, nobody, and I say this, if anybody has any evidence to show me, please, I'll be more willing to accept it. We have not seen in the newspapers or in official communications from the government where persons who were involved in kidnappings were arrested and prosecuted. It seems as though these things happen. Oh, suspects were arrested and then nothing else happens. The flip side of the question is, what happens to these monies when they get paid? I remember listening to a conversation yesterday on X where Sheikh Gumi in an interview on a media station said, well, these bandits are not wealthy people. They don't use the money for wealth. When you see them, they still live in squalor. And my question is, okay, how does that really concern me? How do people who get millions of naira for kidnapping and traumatizing people, how is their choice of how they spend their money my business? And why are we, again, and I don't say this from a point of hate, I say this as a very important question. Why then do we call these persons our brothers? Why is the chief of defense staff saying, oh, these people are brothers and we should treat them with love? Why is Sheikh Gumi in his defense of kidnappers and terrorists saying to us, hey, but you know the Fulani man who are herders have been maltreated in this country. They've not been given the right attention. How is that a part of the conversation? And yes, while we should hear both sides of the divide and the debate should not be one-sided, it kind of doesn't make human sense to me that the excuse for killing people, I'm not saying kidnapping people, right? You kidnap them and you pay ransom. We could maybe explain that to an extent, even though it still doesn't make sense. But what is the moral explanation for persons killing people incessantly, beheading them, torturing them, traumatizing them for absolutely no reason? What is the moral explanation and justification for that? Why is the government not doing anything about it? Why does it seem as though every time it feels as though we want to have some level of peace, it gets even worse? Again, like I said before, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, the issue of kidnappings and insecurities was an issue for the Northeast, was an issue for the Middle Belt. Oh, let them deal and the legislators. At what point do they sign into law and the legislators? At what point do they sign into law the state policing? Because right now, state governments have an excuse to say, hey, I do not have powers. Yeah. If there were state policing, maybe we would have had powers. What is stopping you from signing this into law? Why is it so difficult? Nobody's asking you to put your head on the plotter. Nobody's asking you to lose an election. All we are saying is that give state the power to protect themselves and their citizens. Why is it taking forever? This should have been done a long time ago. Even the president of Nigeria is saying, hey, sign this. But again, I'll say this. When the president says, he's pleading, let me see use the exact words here so I don't misquote the president. He said the National Assembly should accelerate the enactment of the law creating state police. And here is why I'm going to play devil's advocate. When the bill, the Electoral Act, was being passed into law, how long did it take them again? When everybody was saying yeah without reading through the documents, how long did it take them again? When the president says things like, well, I'm turning to the House of Reps and legislators to sign this into law, were you the same person, according to reports and rumors we got, who called for an accelerated hearing of the Electoral Act because it sort of protects certain people? So, if you, as we have seen, and evidence suggests, that the legislators are rubber stamped, that the defense assembly is rubber stamped, why can't you just call them to do this? Why then is it taking forever? It means two things. Either you're saying this because it's a nice political statement to make, or you don't have the powers some people say you have. But, like I mentioned, if the history before us, where things that benefit politicians directly are quickly signed into law, why are the things that benefit us, the everyday Nigerian, whose lives actually do matter, who are not mere chickens and stats on papers and television screens, who have families, who have friends, who have dreams, who have ambitions, why is our lives being treated with kid gloves? Why is it easy for you to sign an electoral act and difficult for you to sign off on state policing? Why?
So, but I do hate the fact that everyone is trying to sell the narrative of when state policing comes, it will solve this problem. This problem has been there longer before the whole idea of state policing. And yes, state policing might give us a fair chance in fighting and winning. But now it feels like everyone is using state policing as an excuse. Oh, they should be faster and do this. Oh, they should be faster and do that. But we've been having this problem before state policing. The whole banditry and the whole, kidnapping, there's sort of an economy to this, where we see that the more we keep pumping money, because most of them, before it started with them just asking for bikes. After they started asking for small sums, 1 million here, 2 million there, now they are bold enough to even ask for billions. And somehow we are hearing that there are people under the rocks that are actually paying these billions. So you're saying that these people have enough money, they have enough economy to get this equipment, get these guns, do this, run this terror attacks, and nothing is being done. How would state policing come and match with them? How are we sure that, you know how Nigerians, we implement laws, but we don't release enough funds for these laws? How are we going to equip these state polices? Are we going to make sure that, okay, these people are well equipped, they are well trained, they are people from the community that actually know this terrain? Like, what is the whole economy or system behind the state policing?
So I think, again, just respond to that quickly before, because I have been very much against state policing, and for many reasons, like I've said here before. I think that the Nigerian system as it is, led by our politicians, would be almost impossible for certain systems to work, but that's my argument. But the other argument to state policing is, if governors do have the power to equip their states, equip their security operatives, it would mean that a state governor would not have an excuse anymore. It would mean that vigilantes or state police officers can be armed.
But
it means that
also mean security imbalance. Like, some states will be more equipped than others.
Yes, of course, it definitely will mean. But then again, I think that at this point, everybody, I won't say everybody for yourself, but governors need to take some level of responsibility for the insecurities. If your state governor, for example, had the powers, maybe he would have deployed 1,000 men to go into the bushes, or 100,000 men to go into the bushes. Maybe he would have better technologies with this policing. I remember watching a video by Jude Bala, and was talking about how when you look at the 2025 budget, the money released for the Nigerian defense in terms of fuels and those things they need for smooth equipment release, the funds released for it was less than 8%, if I'm not mistaken. While you look at the presidential logistics, the fueling the president's plane and all of that, it's got a 97% budget release. So we are saying that in Nigeria, the monies that the Navy needs, the money the Air Force needs, the money the police and the soldiers need for smooth operations, the monies are not released to them. While the monies that the president needs for his flights and his office needs for fuel are released to them. If the state governors are in charge, maybe they would release this money faster. Maybe the bottlenecks involved in fund releases would not be there. Maybe, again, these are just all maybes. Maybe they will prioritize security instead of other things. Maybe because they know the states and their security operatives or security intelligence in the states would be able to track these people and apprehend them when they need to. Just maybe. But again, until we try it out, we would never know. But I think that when issues like this come up and we have these conversations, my other question is, the people in charge, those who are designed or who are elected to lead us, how do they feel? How do they move on from these people getting killed? How does a governor whose number one job, at least on paper, is to protect lives and property, how does he feel when the life he's supposed to protect are being wasted? Do they sleep at night? Do they ask themselves questions? And the other thing is this also political? Let's make some calls this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and your location, please.
Yes, this is Saint Benedict. Saint Benedict is calling you right now from Serengada.
Please go on, Saint Benedict.
Good morning, Chelsea.
Good morning.
Yes. Well, Emeka, you started this program, and I think you've actually run it up. You've also summarized most of the questions that some of the Nigerian callers, people that are patriotic to this nation, you have also asked. When you say that, when you reminded us of the statement related to the President of the Nigerian Senate, Godswill Akpabio, that all these kidnappings and killing are just political. That Nigeria should continue being killed. Nigeria should continue being kidnapped in accordance to his words, not until 2 weeks maybe after the election. This is not statement. It is not alleging. It is just on the public domain what he said. So, what is going to be the concern of the Nigerian government well after they've given you the deadline for all these particular kidnapping and killings to start and end? But I want to sincerely say something this morning. Why Nigerians are being kidnapped? They said it's on Friday. I'm just getting to hear it yesterday in the evening that some children have been kidnapped along with their teachers and school authorities somewhere in Oyo State. They have been taken into custody by some unknown people, because when they call them bandits, I don't know if there's a difference between bandits. I'm still struggling to understand the difference between bandits and terrorists in Nigeria. And so these people have been taken into custody by some certain unknown people, and the government of Oyo State have not actually made some statement except what they said yesterday on Friday officially. That's as much as I can be able to understand. And Emeka, in between Friday to Saturday, you and I know that political activities, especially of the APC, have been going on seriously.
Very
that
well.
particular Friday, Saturday, even Sunday,
Yes.
and yesterday Monday. Yes, and all these things have been going on. It is going to go a long way to tell you, to tell the deaf, for him to understand that the priority of the elected officers and people that are saddled with the responsibilities of protecting lives and properties have actually relegated that particular responsibilities to the background to focus on election and re-election. So unfortunate, Emeka. Nigerians are not saying anything. In fact, it is actually giving me shock to my marrow when he said that Nigerians are not being given enough food to eat. Education is just almost on a zero level. The issue of electricity, infrastructure is on the decay. Healthcare system, you have to actually go and set it for yourself. Security of your properties in the street. As I'm leaving my home now, I have to hire some people to be able to watch. And again, protecting these people again that have actually been vulnerable under your government. Emeka, the government has also failed. And so why are we struggling to go and make sure that people are re-elected? And it is the same people, Nigerians, that will queue up again under direct primaries to go and queue and then vote all these people, these failures into offices, Emeka. Who is going to rescue this country? Who is actually coming to the aid of ordinary Nigerians in the street? If budget today is being passed, you see that the huge amount of that particular budget will be channeled on taking care of the political elite for the appointment for the people appointed under the government, and again abandoning the people at the grassroots. Yet it is the same grassroots that will be actually come to be asked to come and vote for these people that have actually kept them perpetually poor, impoverished and unsecured. God Almighty is going to judge people that are living Nigerians.
Thank you so much for calling.
Remember them in a very negative way. Forget about the issue of NDC and the rest of them. Anybody in Nigeria now is not safe. Not even the security.
Thank you so much for calling. We've got to pick more calls. Again, like I said before, we have to be careful with the words we use. This is a public space, and every word we use should be very, very guarded. Let's pick more calls. Hello, good morning. Apologies there.
So I swear he asked you what's the difference between banditry and terrorism. Bandits is generally a crime seeking profit, while terrorists use violence to pursue their broader ideology. So one, on the other hand, is for profit.
This is not bandits now. This is not.
So
This is
is
not
terrorists.
banditry. Banditry asks for money. These people don't ask for anything. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ogomeka and Chelsea.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. I'm Musa Ike Carlo calling you from Angorogo.
It's good to have you here. Please, go on.
You see, Oga, we should forget about this political statement. The president that is telling the representatives that they should hasten up is the same person that is telling me and you that he has the yam and he has the knife.
Yes.
Ask him what is he waiting with the yam up to today. And these are the same people who the governors are telling you that insecurity are locals. But they are the same people depriving me and you for our local government to work. If today, most all the 774 local governments are working really on their own, and the chairman me and you are electing and their funds are coming, most of them can provide security in their domain. But who is siphoning me and you? You see, my brother, when you allow illegality to persist, it becomes a norm. The question we should be asking ourselves, why do we allow ourselves to have multiple events? Don't we know where kidnapping started? When the Southeasterners were shouting, saying, something is happening here, something is happening here, Nigerian government should come. You were thinking it's just an evil man affairs. You ignore it. Did they tell me any single place in the whole country that has never gone into it? Why do you have to allow yourself to have so many bad liturgy? You see, when you regionalize insecurity, you use tribal security and exceptional. Look at Boko Haram, Muhammad Yusuf. Nigerians were watching. When this man was going into our higher institutions, removing students from schools. So people are tearing their certificates and they are joining these people. And they kept quiet. Good luck, we are making effort. No, don't kill my people. Today, who is facing it? You see, we have long way stayed away from. Instead of fighting, preventing this thing, we have chosen the wrong way. That is fighting it. Now, to suppose that to Omoteko, can we go into investigative journalists? That Omoteko that is of yesterday. Go and listen to the cries of Omoteko of yesterday. They are crying of logistics. They are crying of more power. These are regional security, or not only one state. It's a regional security, or not that only one state is funding it. So, even though we said they have been protesting about the kidnapping.
Yes, they have.
My brother, can we sit down and come together and accept as Nigerians where we have gone things wrong and we can reorganize ourselves and find a lasting solution to this issue? Tell me anywhere, my brother, in the whole world that you can see the farmers and the herders are living in the same jurisdiction. The leaders are not solution driven. You leave the land to become survival of the fittest. If the herders are able to chase the farmers, they great. If the farmers are able to chase the herders, they great. Now you say you are introducing Ministry of Livestock Development. Now we have a Commission of Livestock Development in Plateau State here. Have any of our journalists been putting on the whole seat to see what he has on ground to solve this problem? You tell me you are an Igbo person, or or me here now. You belong to Nigeria. Tell me if you can go into our institution. Is it in police? Is it in school? Without anybody telling you are not from here, you are from here. Where is that obtainable? It's only in Nigeria. Someone will go and pay 2 naira somewhere. You come and pay 5 naira. It's only in Nigeria. So we have so many things on ground. Insecurity. It's only in Nigeria that somebody can just go into politics and become a financial billionaire. Look at how intellectuals and everybody is running into politics. Ask yourself. We have shot ourselves on the foot. Except if we want to get it right for ourselves, we are about to make mistakes. But can we realize that the way we are going is not realizable? Can we recover?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Jude, welcome to the show. Your name and your location.
My brother, this is Honorable Jude from Tijosh.
Honorable Jude, please go
on. My brother Emeka, what is happening in this country, I'm telling you, I'm worried. Issue of this insecurity. You see, you know, community are not helping matters.
How?
Why I'm telling you this? Listen to what happened in this Oyo State school abduction. The information reaching us from there is that some of the collaborators are from the community.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Why will people be wicked, so wicked, because of worldly things, Emeka? Security agents or security men, how can they survive with this kind of impunity? My brother, I'm disturbed and worried when they say they will call you government. For the people are the problem that we are facing. You know, I'm worried because they have arrested about the community people, that their hands, they are the people that give the bandit information, even their way to escape, they are the ones that give them the information, which shows that the people are the problem we are facing. They are calling government. Good morning, Emeka. I'm angry this morning.
Thank you so much for calling. I understand your anger. 09055666699 or 08121877777.
I just wanted to ask a question that I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are wondering. Most schools are supposed to have security officers. So what happened to the security officers in these schools?
So, dear, I know there is a safe school initiative that was supposed to be functional, but I don't know how functional. I know they're not so functional. I know many states governments, especially states in the northeast and northwest of the country, many of them are also supposed to add, there's a fund for that, safe school initiative, but many states governments usually do not do enough, or they are not so concerned about adding to the safe school initiative fund. So it means that schools more often than not are left to their own protection without, I don't know. There's a lot I want to talk about today, but I'm trying my very best to be very, very cautious. So let's leave there right now. Even though we can never stop talking about insecurity, the life of one Nigerian is very important. But somehow it feels as though almost every day there's some killing somewhere, some kidnapping somewhere. But speaking of importance, the All Progressive Congress and their primaries, which has dominated the headlines in the last 2-3 days, it's not even getting anywhere close to being settled. On the newspapers this morning, we saw that some persons won their elections. Let me give you this one here from the Punch newspaper, where the build-up to 2027 general elections took a dramatic turn on the Monday as the All Progressives Congress was plunged into a wave of internal realignment, high-profile defeats, and consensus maneuvers during its senatorial primaries held across the country. The exercise produced one of the most striking outcomes in recent party history, with several political heavyweights, including former governors and serving power brokers, losing out, while a new set of influential figures secured the party's senatorial tickets amid a mix of contested primaries, consensus arrangements, and disputed clearances. Former Ogun State Governors Benga Daniel and Ibidakpo Amosun shunned the exercise, while Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State triumphed over ex-Governor Rochas Okorocha in the Imo West senatorial primary on Monday. In Delta, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa defeated incumbent Ned Nwoko in Delta North, while Senator Ede Dafinone, I hope I pronounced that correctly, overcame ex-Senate Deputy President Ovio Omoagege in a tense poll in Delta Central. Big wigs like Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Senate Leader Bamidele Okpeyemi, Senator Ali Ndume, and Senator Adams Oshiomhole emerged as consensus aspirants in their various states. Former Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello staged a major political comeback after emerging winner of APC senatorial primary for Kogi Central with a landslide victory. Bello pulled 72,399 votes to defeat Ibrahim Yakubu Adoje and Momo Obaro. In Kano North, Deputy State President Barau Jibrin also emerged through affirmation amid a massive show of support from party leaders and delegates. Speaking after the exercise, Barau praised President Bola Tinubu and urged party supporters to remain loyal to the APC. In Edo South, confusion thrilled the APC primary after two separate victory claims emerged from rival camps. Omoroge Ogbedie Ihama also officially declared winner by the APC Coalition Committee after polling 27,154 votes ahead of Senator Neda Imaswe and Pastor Sage Ezeyamu. I had to laugh there because Pastor Sage Ezeyamu, let me just leave it here. If you understand Edo politics, you understand what I mean. However, another faction reportedly declared Ezeyamu winner of the contest. Imaswe rejected the entire process, describing it as manipulated. There's nothing satisfactory about this sham of an election, he said. Some ward chairmen openly told me the party had already adopted a preferred aspirant. In Oyo, the party recorded what officials described as a largely peaceful and orderly conduct of its senatorial primaries across 3 senatorial districts of the state. In Ebonyi State, 3 APC incumbent senators, Senator Anthony Ani of Ebonyi South, Senator Onyekachi Nwebonyi, and Ebonyi North. Shout out to that man, though. If you know him, I'm sure you've seen him on TV. The guy that's always shouting, yeah, that guy is a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And Senator Kenneth Eze of Ebonyi Central were returned as party's candidates following what officials described as strict adherence to a consensus arrangement. So, Chelsea, your thoughts quickly on this one before we go to the phone lines.
So the primary is always an interesting to read. I saw several speculations on how a lot of people were promised something, a lot of people were incumbents and they didn't win, and it was just a lot of speculation, on power and politics and who can play the game well. I feel like primary election politics all is a game that people play, but. And then they have this whole idea that people have, like the people, that's us that participate, have a sense of power, or like they give us a false sense of power. And all I have to say is that the take from this is ABC actually rewarding people based on the fact that there's like an agreement and not because they merit it?
So,
as incumbency, it feels like it's not more a thing anymore. You can be a sitting senator and someone else will come and overthrow you in your state because apparently that doesn't matter anymore. Or is it that maybe the sitting senator is not playing politics better than the person coming in?
I'm going to respond to that quickly.
It's a lot of
So
conversation.
I love your questions. I think that, first off, I need to say thank you to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I say that for this reason. When the Electoral Act as amended was to be passed into law, everybody or Nigerians were against it. I remember people said, oh, this law is bad, even though what we focused on more was the e-transmission of results. I think
it's a good thing we focused on that because of that, a lot of people could not see the loopholes and how it would affect them.
Oh yeah, there are loopholes there. And the reason why I'm thanking the president is because before now, most presidents shied away from direct primaries. It was either indirect primaries, direct primaries, or consensus candidates. Right now, the electoral law said it's either of the two, either direct primaries or consensus candidates. So delegates are no longer part of the conversation. What this means, or what this has shown to us, is that the false sense of unity that the APC portrayed before has been open to us. What it also shows to us is that power is no longer as resilient or resident in certain quarters as it used to be before. It also means that if you are not in tune with certain people, and this time it is not just a few persons, because I'll give an example. There are some stories that, some persons wanted some persons to win in Plateau State, and then the people and supporters of this person wanted the person to win, and there were tussles of power between one power broker and another power broker. One power broker won. When it was the time of delegates, it was kind of easy to manipulate the process. It's 15, 20, 30 delegates. You give them whatever amount you want to give them. Yeah. Everybody's fine. We don't see all of these tussles. The deals are brokered because you don't have a lot of space to undo or tweak deals. Right now, there are so many loopholes within the system that you can undo and tweak deals. But the other part of this conversation for me is the APC, like we've known over the years, and I've said it here, and some people might not like me for it, rewards people who have not done well. For example, the man that won in Delta, that beat Senator Ned Nwoko. I'm not saying that Nwoko is an amazing senator, by the way. I'm not from Delta State, so I don't know what he does there. I cannot give my judgment on his performance. But the former governor of Delta State, Mr. Okowa, was fingered for allegations for corruption. About #1 trillion or so. I remember when he was running under the PDP as the vice presidential candidate under, here, you know him, Mr. Atiku Abubakar. We raised questions about how he's treating workers in Delta State. Delta State residents and citizens cried for how they were seeing absolutely nothing this man was doing. In Kwara State, Yaya Bello, we remember last year or 2 years ago, where the new lead or the new chairman of the EFCC said, "Oh, if I don't arrest Yaya Bello and take him to court, I will not rest." He danced around the situation, and right now that same man is getting the ticket for the APC. It feels as though the more corrupt you are, the more terrible you are.
Away with corruption.
I think the more terrible you are at your job, the more you are rewarded. The more people do not like you, the more the system likes you. I'll give another example. The senator from Ebonyi, I think Ebonyi North Central, I'm trying to remember his name. Let me get his name. I've seen him several times on TV. He was one of the persons who were at the forefront against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan when he was spitting fire and using words that a senator of a country should not be using. But this man has been given a consensus. There was no primaries, a consensus for him to lead. What the primaries have showed us is that, one, political parties, the APC, are not as strong as they say they are. And I remember saying it here last year that I predict the APC would implode. They haven't yet. You're right. It's just primaries, and like they say, these things would always happen. It's normal. Politicians would lose elections and win elections. It all depends on how the internal politics of the party deals with it. But I don't think Ned Nwoko went into an election thinking he was going to lose.
No.
Right? I do not think a man, I'm trying to remember his name again, like Dakwa Biodun, who is one of the, some would say, good governors of Ogun State at the time, would go into an election thinking he's going to lose. With this powerhouse that when politicians do not get their ways, they will do either of two things. They would either get angry and try to destroy the party from within, or they'll leave the party. Unfortunately for them, they can't leave the party right now. They are stuck there. So how does the president, who many people say, and I would agree with them slightly, has been very masterful in his tactical moves as a politician, how does he handle this?
Because they said there are several speculations on arrangements being made for those that defected. And my question is, the current people that lost, were they not part of this arrangement? Didn't you know that this person was promised your office if he came into the party?
Of course, they obviously did not know.
So how would they know? So
you will not know.
So
it's called
logically, someone
deals.
defects to the party, and this person's in your state, and this person has an ambition that you have. Why didn't you calculate and see if you would have a chance against this person, or if you could move to a different party?
Okay,
Because
politicians.
now, a lot of them are stuck. A lot of them cannot contest. A lot of them would be
Of course, they can't.
angry because of
Politicians
this
believe in their
tolerance.
own hubris. Politicians believe they are good. Even when they are not good, they feel and they trust that the processes they have used in the past to get into power would work again. And so, again, like I said, this would test the mettle of the APC. Whether it's in Plateau States where people are raising a lot of dust. I saw somebody on social media yesterday, unconfirmed, say, hey, he went to a polling ward for the primaries, and he was told by some of his agents that, well, they've given some persons the vote already. You all should not even come out to vote. Yeah, that's a thing. The person said it's a video. It's on social media,
much for
not my words.
democracy.
Remember also on Sunday, Monday, the Yusuf Gagri stuff with the PKK. Somebody won, Tokshinan won, and then later on, the committee said, "Oh, who gave you all that result? This person did not win." Announced that this person won. Right? There's that one. There's also the Just Not Basta where they are saying, "Hey, we don't want a consensus candidate. We want to vote for this person. The person you are imposing on us is not the person we want to lead us." We also have the issue, I think, in the senatorial zone just south, where there are also problems as to whether or not the person some say has been anointed by the powers that be should be the person to lead them. These issues are brewing. Now, the reason why prior to this used to be a thing the PDP should deal with, where I've seen PDP primaries before where everybody says, you know what, this is the person that's going to win, you all should just calm down, and you go to primaries in election primary days and you see election politicians and their supporters agitated and shouting. Right now, the APC are dealing with theirs. And like I said before, how do they manage this? And the fact that the persons who have been hurt or who have been denied tickets, either they were not screened, did not pass the screening, or did not get the votes at the primaries, how do they react? Do they go do anti-party activities like Nyesom Wike has been doing for a while now? I say that everybody knows what anti-party activities mean because even he said it. Hey, Nyesom Wike said, I worked against Atiku to lose election. He said it, so it's not my words, his words. Do they do anti-party activities? If they don't do anti-party activities, do they take, the party to court? Even though the law says you can't take the party to court, except if the rules of the game of the elections are not adhered to. In the, I think it was section 87 or 86 of the electoral law says you cannot take a party to court because of issues in primary elections, except of course the way the election should have been done, the process wasn't followed to the T, then you can take them. So what happens? Do they take them to court? If there are internal mechanisms within the party, how do they fix this? I think the coming days would be interesting. But like I said before, people who have stolen our monies, people who have records of corruption, and I'm not even mincing words, Okowa and Yahya Bello are the two popular ones that comes to mind easily. Yahya Bello is quite funny because he was running away from the EFCC. He was running away from the EFCC, and the EFCC chairperson said, well, I'm going to get this man. This same man has won his party ticket for the senatorial seat.
But in Nigeria, it has always been a game of the lesser of all evils, where you get to choose based on, oh, this person is less of a bad person, or this person is less of a criminal. It has always been that game.
I don't think
I'm
we
not
should.
surprised.
I think that we should go past that. The whole idea of lesser evils being the best option should not be that. We have good people in Nigeria. Good politicians, I do not know, but good people I'm sure of. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Emeka.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, please, in 30 seconds, I want to ask just one question, please, so that I don't misunderstand Nigerian politics. Sir, is it really right for a sitting governor to still contest for the primaries of a senatorial seat in Imo State, like we're having it in Imo State now with this Hope Uzodinma? Please, sir, if eventually he won, and then he's about to be sworn in as in the 11th Senate, what happens to the office of the governor where he's going to be? Or is he going to be a senator representing 3 constituencies and also be the governor of the entire state? Help me understand what APC is leading Nigerian politics into. Please, I beg you.
I would try to help you understand that. Thank you so much for calling. 09055 or 08121877777. Also, you have messages for us from Facebook. Quickly, let's pick one more call and then we'll say our byes and we'll cross our T's and dot our I's. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Chelsea, good morning. I appreciate you, but I'm Joe calling from Apata.
Welcome, sir. Please go on.
Yeah, on the area of the security, I wanted to ask you a good question. I think there is a course in school nowadays that has to do with security. And number 2, all these our generals, our colonels, our soldiers, they used to go on courses. All these things they do. Now, I want to ask, if they go on all these courses and yet they don't know how to handle a security situation, then they struggle. Then another thing I want to say is that all these our forest hills that these people are hiding, I think it's high time that the government gets people that will be manning all those sites. Because like what I'm about to say, if security or anything like security more than 24 hours the government handles it, I blame the government because the government is more of selfish to themselves, selfish to the people, or more greedy for themselves. They do think about themselves more than the people, and that is why all these things are going on. The government are the ones to be blamed. Then finally, let me just say this concerning the APC and whatever. Every Nigerian, all Plateaurians, you can see clearly that 2027, this APC will not give us a free and fair election. Let everyone vote and guard his vote and follow the vote to ensure that they don't impose vote. Look at what happened in CKT. Look at what is happening. These are very obvious signs and shadow to what will happen in 2027.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would love to speak more to you all, but unfortunately we're out of time. I can't take your message on Facebook because you're out of time. But quickly, like I said before, Ifeanyi Okowa in 2024 was arrested by the EFCC for a 1.3, guess what? 1.3 trillion naira. Yes, 1.3 trillion naira. In November 2024, he was arrested by the EFCC for fraud of 1.3 trillion naira. This man has won the senatorial seat for the APC. Chelsea, your final words quickly.
when they go low, we go high. Please do not let the situation of the country compromise your integrity. Please.
Forgive your oppressors if you must, but do not ever forget what they've done to you. Stay out of trouble, spread love, and stick the truth. The news comes up by 10 a.m.
Hello, this is evangelist Rob Welch with For His Glory Ministries. You're listening to JFM 101.9. Keep listening.
Hey, yeah, now Rabbi, with Rabbi, but it's strong, my mouth is fresh, it clean well, oh, now Rabbi, strong tit Rabbi, fresh bread Rabbi, 24/7 with Rabbi, strong tit Rabbi.
Give on our teeth 24 hours protection. Use Oral-B today. Na Nigerian Dental Association. Tanda Gidigba with Oral-B.
Ah, I found something inside my Nescafe Original 3-in-1 pack the other day. A unique code printed inside.
Yes, so every pack of Nescafe Original 3-in-1 now comes with a code inside in the Nescafe Next Level promo. Just text the code to *7022# and you could win 500,000 naira cash, business tools, and training. Up to 1 million naira in prizes to be won. Promo runs until June 30th, 2026. T's and C's apply. Nescafe. Make your world.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? Eh? My village people don't come again oh. This one with your body hot so, you don't do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people oh. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine wey dey knack down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Thank you Oga Luta. I don't dey kampe. Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
Even in Nigeria, that hot pounded yam and soup can't wait because a penalty is about to be taken. Deadlines, emails, and presentations can't wait. Even if the match goes into extra time, we are watching. Sleep can't wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026 starts June 11th to July 19th. All 104 games, pigeon commentary, and 4 dedicated channels. Yes, everything can wait. Enjoy the FIFA World Cup live on SuperSport for as low as 6,000 naira per month. Only on DS.